Today we're going to learn the problem-solving process that we will use to solve word problems. The first step is to understand the problem or make sense of the situation and know exactly what's happening. So let's look at this first word problem. It says, the seamstress has a total of blank yards of fabric. She is planning to use blank yards for each scarf she makes. How many scarves can she make from her fabric? So the first question says, what do you already know? So I already know that she has some fabric and she wants to make scarves from the fabric. Okay. Now I need to know what I have to find out. So I'm going to go back and reread my question. How many scarves can she make from her fabric? So I need to know how many scarves she can make. Okay. Now I'm going to go to my next step. I'm going to plan. I'm going to brainstorm different ways to attack the problem. So for today, I'm going to focus on drawing a picture for all of them. So I'm going to draw a rectangle to represent the yards of fabric. I'm just going to represent F for fabric. And then it says she is planning to use blank yards for each scarf. So I'm going to break this up into some scarves and label that S for each scarf. So I'm breaking up this bigger piece and dividing it into smaller pieces. So if she's breaking up a big piece and dividing it into equal groups of smaller pieces, I know that I would have to divide to figure out that problem. So to solve it, I would take the total number of yards and divide it by the yards for each scarf. That's how I'd find my answer. So these ones are not about solving the problem. It's about understanding the problem, planning it by drawing a picture, and then explaining how you would solve it. So what operation would you use and how would you do it step by step? The next one says, Sanaya has blank pencil pouches. Each pencil pouch has blank colored pencils in it. How many colored pencils does Sanaya have altogether? What do I already know? If I go back and look at the problem, I see that Sanaya has some pencil pouches and she has the same amount of colored pencils in each pencil pouch. So I'm going to say she has some pencil pouches with the same number of pencils in each. So that's what I know about my problem. What do I need to find out? I will go back and reread the question. How many colored pencils does Sanaya have altogether? So I need to find out how many colored pencils total. So I want to find the total number of colored pencils that she has. So I'm going to draw a picture. Even though I don't know how many pencil pouches she has, nor do I know how many colored pencils are in it, I could still just make up a number and figure out a picture that I could draw for this problem. So when I plan, I'm just going to draw a picture for now. So here's one pencil pouch, here's two pencil pouches, and here's three pencil pouches. And maybe she has two pencils in each. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So I see 3 equal groups of 2, and I'm trying to find the total number of colored pencils. So I could either do repeated addition, 2, 4, 6, or I could multiply 3 times 2. So now I understand how to solve my problem. So to solve my problem, I would multiply the number of pouches by the number of pencils in each. So multiply the number of pencil pouches by the number of pencils in each. So this is a multiplication problem. All right, the next one says the areas of Joe's front yard is blank square feet. Joe's front yard is blank square feet more than his backyard. What is the area of Joe's backyard? So what do I already know? I know that Joe's backyard is larger than his front yard because it says Joe's front yard is blank square feet more than his backyard. Actually, now that I went and reread the problem, it says Joe's front yard is blank square feet more than his backyard. So actually, now that I went back and reread, Joe's front yard is larger than his backyard. So Joe's front yard is larger than his backyard. So rereading the problem will help you better understand it this time, because the first time I read it, I thought his backyard was larger. But when I went back and reread it, I figured out that his front yard is actually larger. So I need to find out, I'll go back and reread the question, what is the area of Joe's backyard? So I need to find the area of Joe's backyard. And now I'm going to draw a picture. The area of Joe's front yard is blank square feet. So I'm first just going to draw the front yard. And I'm going to label F, Y for front yard. And then it says Joe's front yard is blank square feet more than the backyard. So I'm going to take off a piece of this front yard. And I'm going to label this the backyard. So now I could see I have the whole and I have a piece of the whole. So this is a subtraction problem. I'll have to find out what the area of the front yard is, subtract it by how many more it is, and then find out the area of the backyard. So to find out the answer to this problem, I will subtract the area of the front yard with how many more yards it is with the backyard to find out the area of the backyard. So sometimes it takes a minute to really understand what you're having to do. You have to reread the problem and think about how you will solve it. All right, last one. There are blank cups of punch in the pitcher. Mr. Evan pours blank cups of punch into a plastic cup. How many cups of punch are in the pitcher now? All right, so what do I already know? Let me reread the problem one more time. There are blank cups of punch in a pitcher. Okay, so I'm visualizing a pitcher with some juice in it. Mr. Evan pours out some cups of punch into a plastic cup. So I know that there was a pitcher of juice and they poured some out. And then the question says, how many cups of punch are in the pitcher now? So I need to figure out how many cups are left in the pitcher. Okay. Now I'm going to go over to my plan step. So I'm going to draw a picture that looks like a pitcher, and then I'm going to divide it up by its cups. So we're going to say it has just a couple cups in there. And then I'm going to say he pours maybe 2 of them out. So this is the total. And then I had to take some away. So I know that's a subtraction problem. So to solve it, I would have to take the number of cups that they started with and subtract it from how many cups they poured out. That is the first 3 steps of our problem-solving process. These are to help you understand the problem, to understand what operation you might be using, and to make sure that you are understanding what exactly you need to find out. So at the end, when we do have actual numbers in the problems, you're able to check your work for reasonability and making sure it's a viable and solution that you could find for your word problem.